Welcome back. We're going to go ahead and finish putting the texture on and then lighting the scene with IBL lighting and Mental Ray. So the first thing we want to do is make sure Mental Ray is on. So go to Settings, Windows Settings, Preferences, Plugin Manager, and make sure that you scroll down to turn on Loaded and Auto Load in Mental Ray. Refresh it. And just make sure Mental Ray is on. So go into your render settings and turn that on. Okay. And once that's on, we just want to go to Features. And once that is enabled, then we want to make sure Ray Tracing and Final Gather is on. Those are the only two we need right now. And let's close that. And we're going to go ahead and load this texture. So make sure you select the object and go into the color. Click on 2D Textures, go to File, and next to Filter Type, turn that off, and we'll go into the option and find the file. And we want to use the Targa. And there we go. There's the little monster logo on top, and everything's finished and looking pretty good. Alright, so everything's looking good. Alright, now all we need to do is go ahead and light the scene. Well, we're going to do something pretty simple. I know I gave you a bench, but I'm just going to use something real simple. Those of you that just want to use a plane, and we're going to kind of go to the top view and just kind of make that a little bit bigger. And make it like kind of like a table. Something like that. Okay, and then we'll make sure that the can sits on top of it. Okay, there we go. Alright, I've got high quality on. How did I get that? So, well, if I go into default rendering, you'll notice that this is what it's going to look like. Okay? And we're going to get pretty close to the string, so I'm not really too worried about the edges here. I think they'll be just fine. Again, this only works if you get pretty close to the top here. Alright, so something like that looks good. Alright. So once I get my perspective set up something like this, you can go in here and you're going to want to turn on your perspective and your gate. The blue circle is your gate. That kind of sets your scene up. Also want to go ahead and get in your safe title area. And you want to get your field chart in just to kind of get that centered. Once you get the field chart in, you can turn that off right in here. Okay. I think there's just default lighting. I'm not sure if it'll even render. Yeah, there we go. So just default lighting is on. Very low quality. And this will change as we get a little higher. Let's go ahead and texture. I'm going to go ahead and set this camera. So in perspective, I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to go to Bookmarks, Edit Bookmarks, and click on New Bookmark. Alright, so if I move away and I want to move things around, if I want to frame it again or get it where it was, just click on the bookmark. Okay. So we want to texture this thing, so let's go ahead and get that textured. Now, when you create a plane, it's already got a texture on it and UV texture on it, so you can see it fills up this area here. If I click on it, there it is. So it's already UV mapped. So all we need to do is add a texture to it real quick. So I'm going to go into Assign New Material and click on a blend, and we're going to call this Tabletop Texture. And I've already got a tabletop texture I want to use. Let's turn the reflectivity down really low to 0.1. Let's turn that specular down in roll off, down in color. Okay, there we go. Let's keep the eccentricity about these two, about the same, specular color. And I'm going to go in and add the texture I want. Go into File. I'll probably share this texture with you guys, so let's see, do you want to try that one? Kind of an old one, or more of a wood, this color here. I've got the bump map. I've got a normal map. This is what it looks like when it's rendered. Let's try this one. This is more like a picnic table. So I'm going to do that one. Click on Open. Okay. It's going the wrong way. So if it's going the wrong way, then I can go ahead and flip it around. So the way to do that, I can go in here and we can rotate frame. By rotating this, let's just type in 90. It's about the fastest way to do it. And let's see, let's repeat it twice and 4 times that way, so we can keep that nice detail in there. That might be too big. Let's do 1. Okay, that's about right. 1 and 4. That looks pretty good. Okay. The only problem is we've got kind of an edge. We've got some edges showing, so let's go ahead and let's do 1.1. There we go. Okay. And if you want to add a UV map on there, you can, and that will, you can create it so you can move it around. So I'm going to create UVs, go to planar mapping, and make sure bounding box is on and the y-axis is on, and click on project. Okay. When I zoom out, you notice that I got this little T. If I click on it, I can actually go in here and select the arrow and move this to however I want it. What I don't want is I don't want the crease to be right on the edge, so I'm going to keep that something like this. So I don't see any black over here and black over here. Click off. That looks very good, like that. So let's get close to the energy drink and see if that's going to look good. Let's go to the renderer and go to high quality. That looks nice. I think that'll do it. So it looks like kind of like a tabletop picnic table. This is an outdoor scene, so this will work really well. Okay. Alright, so let's go to my view and go to my bookmarks. So this is what my bookmark looks like. I'm going to rotate a little bit more like this and zoom in just a little bit more, something like that. I do want to see the top. I worked really hard on that, so I do want to see that all the letters, Monster Drink. Here we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the field chart in here so I can get that looking good. Okay, turn that off. I'm just centering everything so it looks good. Do a really quick render here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, this texture needs a bump map, so let's go ahead and add a bump map to that. So I'm going to click on that, textures, file. I'm going to turn this down to 0.15 and go into the arrow. Click off for filter type, and then we're going to go to bump wood. I think that's the right one. Nope, it's the B8B. There we go. Alright, so notice that this one's not really following. It's going this way. So I'm going to show you a way to connect them, and a very easy way to make this map look like this map here. Because right now if I render it, it's going to give me bumps across like that, which doesn't really work that well. So I'm going to close that. So I'm going to go into my Hypershade. So I'm going to show you something new. Go to Window, Rendering Editors, and Hypershade. You see my tabletop up here. We've got our views. I want a double view right here. So right here, I click on that. We click on this guy right here, right click over it, and I'm going to go into select input nodes. Actually, I'm going to click on that and go in here, click on this guy right here. This will pop it in. So if I click on this, this is my tabletop. I'm going to click on this guy right here, and this will open up. And you can see that my work area is telling me that this one's going that way, horizontally, and this one's going vertically. So I want this one down here to go vertically. So what I want to do is I want to disconnect this one. So just hit the delete key. I'm going to click on this one and I'll move it over here. Okay, I'm going to drag and drop it into here and click on default. And that'll make it fit it exactly the same. So I won't have to go in here and repeat it. And so whenever I change this, let's go ahead and I'm going to double click on it. When I minimize this, you'll notice that this comes up and it showed me that I did a rotate 90 and repeat. It did the exact same thing, so when I render it, it'll give me the right direction, and there we go, perfect. Awesome. So we need one more thing with this texture. We want to add a specular. So specular color. Click on that. Textures, file, off. And let's find there we go. There is my specular. Open that up. And the specular is going to be the same thing. We're going to go back to the Hypershade. And let's see here. Go to input-output connections. I'm right-clicking. There we go. If I click on this guy right here, actually let's click on this again, and click on this guy up here again, and this will give us all the stuff we need. We're going to need to take this guy. This is our specular right here. Click on that one and hit the delete key. And I want you to click on this one and middle mouse button drag it over top. And click on default. That made them all the same. So middle mouse drag to the top of these. So click on this one and you middle mouse drag it over. Okay, so now that looks really good.